Connor, Stephen Knight. It's really nice to meet you. Stephen, I'm a big, massive Peaky Blinders fan, so it's a huge honor. Thank you for taking the time. Connor, you are truly amazing as David Sterling, and you get to portray this incredible character and to work with Stephen Knight. How's it going for you?
Yeah, well, thank you. It's been a dream come true. I feel very honoured and very lucky to have been able to play David Sterling. The more, the more I watch it, and I've seen it a fair few times now, the more and more I have to pinch myself, truly.
Stephen, for a lot of people, the first time they heard of a Birmingham gang or mafia was with Peaky Blinders. And I think that for a lot of people, the first time they're going to hear of SAS is going to be with Rogue Heroes. So as a showrunner and as a writer, what is it that makes it compelling and exciting for you to tell these sometimes a little less well-known stories or just a bit less famous stories in a TV show?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always attracted to stories that have not been told. And usually they're the ones that are the most interesting and compelling. The SAS kept themselves secret for a long, long time. I mean, they weren't meant to exist until, I think, is it the early 80s when the first time when people started to hear about the SAS. But when I read the story of how the SAS was formed, it was so incredible, so unbelievable, so beyond belief that I just thought this story has got to be told. There's also, I have a personal connection in that my dad was in the 8th Army who fought in the North African campaign. He was not in the SAS, but he was a soldier. And when I was a kid and I asked him what it was like, he said, we just used to play cowboys and Indians. So a part of this was me trying to find out what that cowboys and Indians really was.
The sets in Rogue Heroes, or just like in Peaky Blinders, just as important as the characters in themselves. What was the difficulty or aspect of filming that really helped you build the character for you, Connor?
I mean, yeah, the set pieces were incredible. There was one in particular, I think it was Jarlow, and it was this old, I think it was this crazy old ruin in the middle of this giant salt flat, and every day we would show up and we would have to, or not me anyway, my God, but the set designers would have to sweep the whole place down because it would be completely blasted with sand and it would look completely covered. So, and all of that kind of just, walking through those salt flats, those great big open sand dune areas and so on, just all kind of put you into those boots of that character in a really amazing way. And something that I feel so lucky for now, rather than just, some green screen setup or whatever. I think we would be kicking ourselves if we had had that experience over the one that we did have.
And I feel like it's so warm in this desert, and you have to train and you have to act, and it seems very complicated. Yeah. Yeah,
but it all makes it a lot easier, I suppose, because you can't do anything but just. It's so hot that everyone's in the shade until action is called, and then you creep out like little lizards, and you do the scene, and then the moment they say cut, you retreat back into the shade again, and there's just an instinctual realness that comes from that you couldn't fabricate. It's just there.
Stephen, I love that you incorporated so many different modern songs. I think we've got AC/DC, we've got the Stranglers, just like Peaky Blinders, we had a lot of Nick Cave. What makes you think, it might be in the 1940s, but I feel like they would like Highway to Hell,
Yeah, I think that using contemporary and near contemporary music, it's a bridge between the audience and the story. Because I think, in my opinion, no matter what period anybody that you're depicting, whether it's the 20th century, 15th century, human beings were the same. They just spoke differently. And that the emotions are the same. So when you're expressing an emotion using contemporary music, I think is a direct way into an audience. And so for us, it was absolutely, from the beginning, a decision that we should use that kind of, and heavy metal sort of presented itself, and punk, because of the way the characters are, because of the nature of the story. And you need big music to fill those big spaces. You've got a desert, you've got to fill it. And so you need a lot of noise.
I also loved Sofia Boutell's character, Eve, even though she's a fictional character. I love that she represented that part of history that we, in my opinion, that we don't talk enough. Spy in France, in England, in Europe in general. What was it like for you to add that part of history as well?
Yeah, I mean, funnily enough, Eve is an amalgam of a couple of female characters who were around at the time. And it was just an important thing to another way into David Sterling, really. You know, that personal relationship was another way in to finding out the truth about him, because we need him to speak honestly and truthfully to someone. And when he speaks to the other soldiers, to other men, there's all of the baggage that goes with that, the rivalry and the pecking order and stuff. So it was very important to have someone that we could find out in. And I think she's just so good. She's like, she creates a whole new sort of characterization of, and it feels like she's in Casablanca, but it's really modern and brilliant. I think she's great.
I think she did such an incredible job. Connor, now that the show is coming to the US, it's already out in the UK. What do you feel like? What kind of pressure are you feeling right now? Is it something that you expect will be a cultural phenomenon, just like Peaky Blinders, or do you hope people will get into that history a little bit more as well?
I mean, I don't feel any pressure.
No pressure.
I just, but I think people will love it. I mean, it's such a brilliant show. It's so entertaining. The writing's fantastic. I think I don't know if it will be, like Peaky Blinders was, who knows, but we can, it'd be a damn shame if it wasn't, because it's fantastic. I really hope that it gets more people involved in the history. It's really important. I think even my generation are lacking with that kind of respect and so on. So I'm hopeful in that regard. And I think I think it will be a huge success. It's too good for it not to be.
It is too good. It's really too good. I was checking for a release date for the past 10 months or so. So thank you so much. Congratulations again.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.